Good afternoon. This is the Town of Hempstead Board of Appeals, July 24th, 2024, 2 o'clock meeting. Mr. Chairman, do you have any opening remarks?
For those of you who have not attended any of these hearings before, the way we conduct them is as follows. First, we call for any adjournments. If any cases are going to be adjourned, we'll dispose of them first. Then we'll go through the calendar. The way we conduct the individual hearings is the applicant is given the opportunity to present their case. Then if there are any people who are opposing that, we will give them the opportunity to be heard, and the applicant then sums up. We're not burdened by the strict rules of evidence. We'll take almost anything into evidence if it's pertinent. We're not burdened by rules against hearsay, et cetera, et cetera. We take emails, letters, whatever it is you wish, and we will give them the weight to which we believe they're entitled. All the proceedings are live streamed. We have a court reporter here. Any of you who wish to refer to them in the future, you're free to do so at your leisure. And if that's it, let's start calling cases. Yes. We're going to go out of order after that little speech. We're going to go out of order on one particular case this afternoon, which we're going to call first, so that anybody who's here will not be wasting their time. Patrick?
Mr. Chairman, we're going to call case 16224 near Lawrence, Millstream Realty LLC, special exception to park in front yard setback, variant to off-street parking with insufficient stall size and maneuvering aisle, also known as 235 Mill Street.
The big guy.
Good afternoon, Chairman, members, Christian Brown, McLaughlin and Stern, 1122 Franklin Avenue, Garden City. I know the board is aware of the situation with this case. This case ended up needing more, a little more diligence than was originally, than we originally thought. So we are in the process right now of reworking the site plan and probably proposing some changes to the existing footprint of the building in order to make the site work better. That's a work in progress. I know it's been adjourned a few times. I've spoken with Mr. Owens about it. I think the intention of the board now is to dismiss the case without prejudice and then allow us to bring it back when we have a revised site plan that would be ready for presentation.
Sure.
There's only one person signed in other than Mr. Brown on this case. Is there only one person here on this case? I thought I had heard there were others. Okay, good enough.
So what we would propose to do is we would consent to the dismissal without prejudice. We will submit a revised site plan and go through the notice process de novo, as we say.
Can you also
Yeah.
make sure you try to communicate whatever,
Sure.
materials or whatever with the gentleman signed
Sure.
in opposition? And
Sure.
can you give him your phone number?
Sure, of course. Yeah, the plan isn't finished yet, but it should be soon. We'll resubmit it. I'm happy to communicate with the neighbors, and we would then go through the process of renoticing and doing a new mailing.
Okay, so
Do you have anything
This is
you'd like
Mr. Brown.
to? You understand? This is not, let's clarify this. This is not an adjournment. This is a dismissal of the case. I understand that. Okay.
And if they want to bring the proposal back, they have to refile, but it won't be here at first. If they decide to apply to do something there again, they have to prepare plans, prepare all that stuff, go to the building department,
Start all
get
over
rejected,
again.
basically,
Yeah.
if they don't meet all the zoning requirements, and then come to the zoning board, create a file there, including notice to everyone in the relevant community. It's just like start over. So the case is getting dismissed. They can bring it again, but they start from scratch.
This is a check-in track, 234 Allen Street, LCB
Slower.
Hold it. Step up. Step up, give your name and address for the record, and I know you've been here before.
Yep.
Okay,
Chet Petrak.
I think you should be sworn in.
swear him.
Sir. Chet Petrak, 234 Allen Street, Lawrence, New York. Hello again. This is a ploy that they do all the time. I have pictures here that they're waiting for what plans? The last time we were here, you told them to email me or mail me plans and a traffic report. They have not done that.
But can I just tell you, that's because they've abandoned that plan.
I'm going to tell you why they abandoned that plan. Because Mill Street is a major road for schools and buses. So they're waiting now during the summer to do the traffic report, so it's not as busy. Also, they're telling me they're waiting for new plans. They're up and running. There's schools, there's kids. That entire building is up and running right now. I have more than dozens of pictures here. And
Hold
the
on.
other problem is we have rats now.
Hold on. Hold on. Mr. Brown, please, can you speak to
Yes.
whether or not the proposed use here is in
Yeah.
use right now?
This isn't a large formerly industrial building. There are a mix of tenants in the building. Yes, they are operating, and some of them have been operating for some time. The goal of this application was to legalize those uses and essentially to legalize the parking on the site. It is not a delay tactic. The fact is, the site, as I said, was formerly an industrial building, and when I became involved, as well as our traffic engineer, after doing our diligence, it became clear to us that the proposal as formulated was not the best way for the site to operate.
Wait, Mr. Brown, so the uses that we're adjourning right now are all currently the same as they are going to be proposed?
I believe, yes, I believe so.
Well, we need a much shorter timeline then.
Well, counsel, my question is.
Well, hold on,
It's
hold
a
on,
dis-
hold on.
It's a dismissal. It's,
I don't know. Mr. Brown?
Yeah.
So, Mr. Pellegrini brought up the issue of the fact that this is parking exception, but it doesn't say what the
Yeah, I can-
things
I
are.
can- right.
So upon refiling, obviously that has to be corrected.
Right.
In addition,
Go ahead.
as I know you know, because I know you know, and you're one of the smartest lawyers who come in here,
You don't have to repeat.
when we, well, I actually believe it. But when we dismiss this case, as you know, all enforcement actions are no longer stayed.
We understand. I
And-
can,
I mean, there's a relatively sense of urgency in that he brings up a good point. We thought we were going to dismiss it and you'd refile, but I can only speak for myself. I wasn't really realizing that all the conduct involved is ongoing. And
Right.
to dismiss it with no
I-
way to keep a check and balance
I
makes no sense.
totally understand. There's one use that will, there's a gymnastics center is one of the tenants. That needs a use approval from this board. It's been there for a number of years already. I don't know
That's our
how it
tough
got in
case
there, but
to-
it needs to be legalized with the use permit. The rest of the uses would not be before you. The rest of the case is really a parking case. The reason that we're asking for time is because when I looked at the case in conjunction with our traffic engineer, our concern was essentially how the site, the traffic was flowing through the site. And we want to make sure that the traffic is able to flow through the site in an appropriate and safe manner.
How could they change it if, I mean, it's already in existence, like you said.
Yes.
Nothing's being built or established more. How is your client going to change the maneuverability of the parking? With the
Because
traffic?
we're likely to make a change to the building.
And when you come back, Mr. Brown, on the parking-only stuff, you'll be prepared to give us a traffic flow
Of course.
and parking analysis that encompasses the entire program there.
We're doing that. The reason we haven't provided it is because it's not finalized, and to Mr. Pellegrini's point, what we're working on now
Changing
is
the
a
use.
removal, a small change to the footprint of the building that would make the parking lot work better for ingress and egress
So
purposes.
your client will demo part of the building?
You can't ask him to say that.
That's what I believe is going to be proposed, yes. There will be a section of the building will need to be removed to facilitate a better ingress and egress in the parking lot. That's what we're working on now.
And the parking/traffic analysis will be one done by the expert as it relates to the overall functioning of the site.
Correct.
When do you think that you would have this new filing
Soon.
roughly?
Within 2 weeks, I would say. We have a plan. I'm just waiting for the traffic engineer to weigh in with any final comments, and then we'll be ready to
2 weeks
resubmit.
to the building department?
Yeah, to resubmit, yes.
And what is your estimate, since you do that part more than we do? What does it usually take? A month, 2 months?
Well, if we have the assistance of your able
we
staff,
do it
it
through
could
here?
probably be done more quickly. We could work together to get the review done. The denials aren't going to change substantially.
I mean, for the community, you know, I think it makes sense for us to try and
I
help
tot-
it here so that these folks get,
We're trying to make the site work better. That's what the goal here is. I didn't want to come here with a plan that wasn't going to be workable. So we're trying to make the site better, and I can make a representation that we could submit the plan within 2 weeks, and we'll try to get it sent back down to this board expeditiously.
Counselor, what businesses are there now?
There's a gymnastics
Right.
center. There is like a warehouse function for a clothing store.
I can let you know what's there.
I think there is I believe it's an off-site, like catering kitchen where food is brought in and out. And those may be the only 3 things operating there right now.
No, ma'am.
Well, that's to the best of my knowledge and recollection.
Can I ask?
Would you like to know the truth now, what's there?
hold on, no. Give us a second, we'd like to hear from you, but let's not have a harassing argument. Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Brown comes before the board regularly, and as far as I know, has always been truthful. And so tell us what you want to tell us.
Okay, first of all, there's a Chapanash, which does catering, as you said. There's also a school for special needs kids. That's been up and running for the last month and a half. Again, I have pictures to show you that. Also, the problem we have now with the off-site, the parking they want to do, is now we have rats. In the last month since I've been here, I've killed 14 rats in my yard. Because of the parking they want to do, they want to bring more trucks in the park there, we're going to get more rats.
Hold on, Joe, who can he call about rats?
Health Department.
Health Department.
Okay. But this building's been up and running since the last time I spoke to you, ladies and gentlemen, and this is a ploy because I can't keep taking days off from work. This is the 4th time I've taken off from work. And they did the same exact thing, and it wasn't industrial last time, it was a gym.
But that's why we're dismissing it, because last time we told them it was the final. So now we're dismissing it, which may not seem like a good thing to you, but we're dismissing it. Number one, all enforcement actions are no longer stayed. If the building department goes out and finds violations, the building department may give them a notice of a potential violation or whatever it is, and Mr. Brown has made it clear, and I know he understands, they need to get this going quickly. Our office is planning to facilitate, as soon as his new plan is available, we're going to try and help get it through the building department, not to help him, to get it back here
As
so you
quickly
can be
as
heard on the
possible.
substance of the matter, whatever neighbors, Mr. Brown can explain the fix he's come up with, and we can analyze the plan overall for whatever it is, the rats, the parking, the flow, and what's going on there. Because given that it's an ongoing business, we want to get this addressed as soon as possible. The other option we would have is to go forward right now. If we went forward right now, it's not even the request he's making. It would make no sense at all. We're penalizing him by saying, last time was final adjournment. He's not getting an adjournment.
Right.
He's getting dismissed.
Dismissed.
And then what's going to happen when they put the plans in, and you and I both know they're going to adjourn it
No,
again?
no, that's
Are we
not
sure?
going to happen.
Because the last 2 times we were here, you said
Got it.
wasn't, and we're at
Today,
4 now.
today was the final
No,
date.
no,
I
this is
remember
not
that
an
very
adjournment.
vividly.
I understand
Okay? He's asking, he's not asking, this case is going to be dismissed today. So whatever enforcement action you think you want to avail yourself of, you and your neighbors, you go right ahead and do it. We don't have jurisdiction over this case now. Okay?
Then what do I do continuous about the parking? Because again, I have pictures for that, because you guys asked for pictures
You
last
will,
time.
you'll be able to submit that
I
at,
continually call the cops. Their buses are parked on the street, but if they're not up and running, how do they have school buses and kids coming out of the building?
I get it.
You know,
There's,
if they're not up
you
and
know,
running, how do I have 4, 5, 6 delivery trucks coming down my street that,
Well, obviously, they are up and running, and I don't think Mr.
I didn't
Brown
say they
denied
weren't
that.
up and running.
He said they are up and running. So now our mission is to get this corrected
Back here.
and analyzed and back
Back here as
so that
quickly
we
as
can correct
possible.
whatever needs to be corrected. And I feel like Mr. Brown is on board for that. He's trying to make a better plan. Sounds like they're going to consider
We
or
hope.
figure out how to reconfigure it, including maybe demolishing a portion of the building.
from living in that house almost 50 years, my family grew up in that house, there's no way they're going to be able to demolish it because they just put in all brand-new electrical, like big transformers around.
But I think Mr. Brown recognizes that however undesirable it might be to demolish a portion of the building, Mr. Brown served on this board in the past, many years ago. He knows exactly how it works. And he realizes that as much as you might want it, we're not going to give in on something that doesn't work for the community. And Mr. Brown said, whatever it ends up being, but he's looking for a solution to make it more palatable.
Then
And-
my question is, after the last 2 times you instructed, not this gentleman, but the other gentleman, to give me the 4 plans. Still haven't got them.
Mr. Brown,
Again, the issue is that we investigated the case, did site visits, and looked at some property issues, it became clear that we needed to make changes.
but we're talking about go forward. Are you gonna-
Yes, when we have a final plan, we will supply that. We will supply the traffic report when we have a final plan. We're not talking about demolishing the whole building. We're talking about
understand.
removing a section, a small section, in order to make the parking lot work better.
And Mr.
Without-
Brown already
without-
said he'll give you his
without,
contact information.
without belaboring the issue, we're dismissing this case now,
Okay,
all right?
so now.
And you can avail yourself, and your neighbors can as well, of whatever actions you believe you have to take. There is no longer a stay in enforcement, all right? And it behooves people, whether they're applicants or objectants, it behooves everybody to get this case, if it's going to be brought again, on track as quickly as possible, and we will do everything within our power to advance this case so that the final, if there is another application for this, that will be resolved very quickly.
So we're not gonna have 3, 4, 5 adjournments?
You're not going to have, we're dismissing the case now,
No, I mean, then when they present it
okay?
again.
Okay.
Get Mr. Brown's contact
It
information.
is, the
He's a
board
very
has
professional
noted,
attorney.
the board has noted the exigency of the situation, and we will proceed accordingly. Okay? You're welcome. Case is dismissed.
Thank
Who
you.
do I give these to, the pictures?
You'll
You
bring
save them
them,
until we have the hearing on the merits of the case.
that's correct. All right? Not going to go down the road for hours. It's not going to happen. Patrick?
Yep. Next, we have case 50524 Franklin Square, Joseph and Casey Cascone. Variance, side yard, maintained cellar entrance attached to dwelling, also known as 1035 Lydia Drive. Sir, raise your right.
I am.
My name is Joseph Cascone, 1035 Lydia Drive, Franklin Square, New York.
Maintain a cellar
Good
entrance.
afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. I hope mine's a lot easier than that one.
Just speak as loudly as you can.
Okay. Better?
Make no representation.
I'm here to ask permission to have, okay,
Cellar entrance.
cellar entrance to be maintained.
It's in the basement.
What's in your cellar, sir?
It's just a basement. We're going forward on the plans. There's a bathroom I want to keep.
Hold on, I just want to find the plans if you don't mind. Do you have a permit for the bathroom?
Everything's pending on this, the cellar stairs. I'm being told.
So the,
Everything's been submitted to the town. They're holding off on any permits until I get the cellar stairs approved.
so they won't consider approving the bathroom in the basement?
Correct.
Until the issue of the cellar entrance is addressed?
Correct. That's what I've been told.
How long has the exterior cellar entrance been there?
It's got to be at least 10 or 15 years.
How long have you owned the house?
22 years.
So you put the cellar entrance in?
Yes, I did.
And I know it's a silly question, but what made you think you needed a cellar entrance? You have another set of stairs to go to the cellar.
Well, basement cellar stairs, I was going to make a workshop out of it, which never wound up doing it. And I'll be quite honest with you, one of my daughters moved in while they were trying to save money. I'm not going to lie to you. In recent years, my sister took ill, and she was dying of COPD, and I had no place else to put her, and I put her down there, but she's since passed, and the basement's been gutted out, and it's just a finished walls, rug, and a three-piece bathroom.
Well, first, let me say I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
So there was sort of a living quarters down there. You've since eliminated that
Yes,
because the existing cellar is not supposed to have any living or sleeping quarters
Correct.
down there. So you want to keep that bathroom, which you have under separate application, and otherwise just leave it relatively finished as some
yes,
extra space.
paint the walls with that square rugs.
So I suppose there must have been a kitchen down there at some point, but you've eliminated that.
It's all gone. There's a plumbing application and two that's being held up because the cellar stairs,
Plumbing for what?
to show that the kitchen's not there anymore.
Oh, the removal of the kitchen.
Yes,
Yeah.
And you only have, other than that, one other floor. Sorry, Joe.
I'm sorry?
And you just have a one-level house other than that?
No, it's a two-level house. It's got
I don't
first
have the
floor.
floor plan. So on the first floor, you have a kitchen, dining room, family room, living room.
Yes.
Your plans show that there's a garage approved, but,
Yes, it's in. It's been approved and inspected, and I've got the CO for it.
so there is a garage there.
Yeah, it's in the back. If you look at the plan, you'll see it. It's right where it is.
Is that to put the Corvette in?
What's that?
Is that to put your Corvette in the garage?
71.
Given that I don't have the floor plan for the second floor, can you tell me what's,
It's not on this, it's here. It's on the second page.
yeah, I only have one page.
Oh, you want mine? Take mine.
Yeah, if you,
I don't need it. Take my plan.
Oh, yeah.
I know it by
Well,
heart.
okay, while she's marking that, can you tell us what's on the second floor?
The second floor is the kitchen, dining room, family
Well,
room.
no, second floor.
Oh, top floor? There's 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms?
I hope there's not another kitchen up there.
No.
4
Anybody's
bedroom,
welcome to come look at it.
4 bedrooms, 2 baths?
4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a hallway,
How many people live in the house?
my wife and I.
Okay. You know that you can't reconfigure that basement to be an apartment again, right?
Yes, I'm aware of that.
We're sort of reluctant to grant cellar entrances, not because you might use it the wrong way, but if you sell your house, it just sets it up for a potential misuse in the future, particularly since there is some rough plumbing still down there, you know.
I understand. It's, the wall's sealed off. I don't know how else, I won't be able to keep the finished basement then.
No, I understand.
Why?
Because how do we get a second egress?
Well,
An egress
egress
window.
windows, but
I can't, I have a letter from a doctor. I just had shoulder replacement, and I have another one going in, and there's no way I could climb a ladder, God forbid.
So replacement.
Yes, please.
what replacement?
I'm sorry?
I'll look on the materials. You don't need to put it on the record.
Yeah. I just had shoulder replacement, and the other one's got to get done.
Full replacement?
Full replacement.
I had 5 shoulder surgeries, and I hear the shoulder replacement is so much better. I should have done that from the
I got to
beginning.
tell you the truth. Right now, I'm not agreeing with you.
Oh,
Maybe in time.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's a much better way to go.
Well, I had both done, trust me.
That's all
I
right.
wrote it up.
Can I digress and talk about my ailments too? I don't think that's pertinent.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
What is all this?
You'd like to add? Do you have anything else you'd like to add? Mrs. D'Amato, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
No, I think
That's
that covers
pertinent
it.
to the issue?
I think that covers it, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move that the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Sir, you'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Thank you.
I second.
Have a good day.
You too, sir.
All in favor? Any opposed?
Next, we have case 506 of 24, Belmore, Anthony Minio, construct second accessory structure, cabana with half bathroom, outdoor kitchen, and fireplace attached thereto, higher and larger than permitted, an exceeding horizontal maximum with less than required side yard setback, also known as 2992 Shore Road.
I don't have your calendar?
Anthony Minio, 2992 Shore Road, Belmore, New York, 11710.
You took it. Yes, it was her.
Good afternoon, everyone. Members of the board, Chairman, I appreciate your time and meeting here with you all. I am proposing to construct a cabana with an outdoor kitchen, as well as a half bath in my rear yard setback. The addition of a fireplace connected thereto will also be included, was also included in the construction drawings that I had made up. The structure, the lot itself is actually an irregular style lot. It is a waterfront lot, and It does extend out over the bulkhead line, but the proposed structure is going to be placed 2 foot off the adjacent neighbor as well as onto the bulkhead. So the variance that I'm requesting are for the height as well as the overall length of it, it's because I'm trying to put the outdoor kitchen as well as the bathroom, which is going to be handicap accessible for my mother to utilize in the backyard of my home.
Okay, so how high is the structure proposed to be, and what's permitted?
Permitted is 12 foot, and the structure would be 15 foot to, I believe it's 50, excuse me, 1 second, let me refer to the construction drawings. It's 15 foot 6 inches to the ridge.
First accessory structure.
I have a shed, and I have come before this board in 2019, actually May 22nd of 2019, to get granted the variance for that shed as well, and the side yard setback.
Did it have any,
That was approved,
any
yeah.
conditions?
Not to my recollection, for any specific conditions.
I apologize. I think you said it while I was looking at the plans. What is the overall square footage of the second?
The overall square footage of the proposed structure is 318 square foot. The accessory structure requires 144 square feet.
Right. And the horizontal on at least one side?
On one side, on the shorter side, running north and south, would be 12 foot, and then on the adjacent sides would be 26 foot 6 inches.
On both of the other two
On
sides?
both of the other 2 sides.
Has your wife ever made you sleep out there?
It's not going to be an accessory dwelling unit, but it's...
It doesn't matter.
It's,
You can have a couch and a TV.
it's primarily so that the 4 kids don't have to go and traipse into the house when they're utilizing the pool. They can use the bathroom outside, and we can keep some semblance of cleanliness inside the house.
And as it relates to the side yard, I see on your chart, 10 feet setback. That doesn't make sense. What is the side yard setback you provided and what is required?
I have a 2-foot side yard setback on, between myself and the adjacent property. And the reason for that as well is because I can't shift the structure over to the pool any further than that.
Why would he need relief?
Would be required for an accessory structure would be 2 foot, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought it was 2.
On the one
I
side,
don't know.
yes.
I won't answer that.
I have produced for your consideration, a number of my neighbors have signed essentially a petition
Says he has a
for
2
you
foot,
to review.
But it's an interior lot. It doesn't have to be at least 1.5 or at least 2, but not exact.
That's 4 copies.
That's my point.
Yes, I do. Yep, and there are also photos of, yes. That one's unstapled. These are unstapled, they're all the same.
We'll submit one, and I'll take one.
Yeah, cool.
So apparently, because normally all these accessory structures are treated the same, but according to Dawn, who's our resident expert, it was because it was declined as a cabana, it requires a 10-foot side yard. Most of them require 2, and you're providing 2, so it's an 8-foot variance, just for the record.
So in regards to the cabana is defined in the BZA as being a changing area with a shower. So this kind of is I don't want to use the term, a limbo stage between the definition of a cabana and a shed, if you will, or an outdoor kitchen or pavilion. So it's kind of encompassing all of the definitions. So to utilize the one specific term, I think, is kind of complicated. It will, I have a shower on the exterior of the facade of the one side, but it's primarily to wash off sand, not an interior shower. It's only going to be a half bath. Yes. Yes. They are not. And with all due respect, the one person that I could believe would have any objection to it would be the person who is on the corner of Surf Drive and Shore Road. And they have not indicated any, no, they're not here, and I don't believe there's any objection that I'm aware of from them in particular, as I didn't see them here in the crowd. But it would be the Loyacanos on the corner of Surf and Shore. And as of recently, they actually just planted a living fence which completely obstructs their waterfront view altogether. So this structure, if it were granted to be built, would have no bearing or impact on them, being as though their view, their southerly view, is not going to be impacted at all because they have just recently planted 8-foot living hedge of Leland cypresses. And if you look at the radius map, the Loyacanos are, again, in the corner of Surf Drive and Shore Road, and they have a direct view of my rear yard setback.
That concludes your presentation, Mr. Minio?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions from the board?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Minio, you'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Thank you for
Thank you.
your time.
Welcome.
Next, we have case 50724 near Valley Stream, Andrew and Tova Feigenbaum. Variances, height, lot area occupied, front yard average setback, construct two-story dwelling with cantilever, also known as 782 Plainfield Lane.
Stand up at the, just in case you. I do. All right, good afternoon again. Christian Brown, McLaughlin and Stern, 1122 Franklin Avenue, Garden City.
Todd O'Connell, architect doing business at 1200 Veterans Highway, Hauppauge, New York.
All right, this is an application to build a new single-family home at this property on Hungry Harbor Road in the near Valley Stream area. We're proposing to construct the home on the current foundation, so it's essentially on the exact same footprint as the prior or the existing home was built with some very minor modifications. And I'll run through the variances, and then Mr. O'Connell is here as well as the homeowners who are looking essentially to build a home that's adequate to house their large family. So the first variance is a request for a variance from the front yard average setback requirement. The average is 26.1 feet. The existing setback is 25.3 feet, and we're requesting a change to that of less than 2 feet to a 23-foot setback at its most narrow, and the reason for that is as part of the new home, we are enclosing an area that was formerly an open front porch, and we're slightly extending, if you can see on the dotted line, up the entranceway, so that there's an entrance foyer at the front of the house, and that represents that small encroachment that we're seeking. So it's a de minimis change as to what's there, and it's only 3 feet off of the average that's required. The second request is for lot coverage. The current lot coverage is 39%, where 27.5% is permitted. Much of that is due to the fact that the current home has a fairly substantial raised deck in the rear yard, which counts towards lot coverage. That's outlined on your plan as well in a dotted line, I think you can see in the back of the house. That deck will be removed, and therefore our lot coverage that's proposed is actually going down by 2.5 points to 36.5. So the house is fully compliant with the side and the rear yard setbacks, and again, it's being built in line with the current foundation. But from a technical zoning perspective, we're reducing the existing lot coverage because we're removing that deck, and instead there'll be an on-grade patio in the back, which does not count for lot coverage. And finally, we are requesting a 2.5-foot height variance. This is a 2-story house. It is not a 3-story house. The request essentially stems from the fact that the applicant would like to have some additional space for storage. I know you hear that all the time, but in this case, if you look at the plans, you'll see that this is truly an attic. It's at its maximum height to stand up is 6 feet, I believe. It would be a pull-down stair only, and the property actually slopes up in grade, so the crown of the road, if you took the measurement from the average grade, we would be at 30 feet. It's up on a, basically, is it a 4-foot sort of hill?
The first floor at the front is 6 foot above the crown of the
Okay,
road.
it's 6 foot above the crown of the road. So the house is sitting up on a raised grade above the street, and therefore we get a little bit punished for height. So I know the board is very conservative with its granting of height variances. I've explained that to the applicant. However, in this case, because they are, punished a little bit because of the higher grade, and since it is not a third story, it's a true attic. It's for storage only with a pull-down stair. You couldn't convert it to living space unless you had a very, person that didn't want to stand up fully, probably. We would ask you to grant that relief.
So the difference in crown and grade, I guess, is the 2.62 if from grade is 30, right?
That is correct. It's currently at the front of the house at grade. It's also the foundation. The existing foundation, is 4 foot above the ground. That's what's there today. So it's a combination of the grade as well as what the existing foundation sits at. So you have the grade, which is, sits 2 foot above the crown, and then you have from the grade to the top of the existing first floor, because again, we're using the existing first floor. That's another 4 feet. So that's what's creating the height issue.
And then you have over 10 feet built into the finished and finished second. And I know a foot or so is between the floors.
Correct.
And then what's the height? I can't tell.
32.62.
No, I can't tell the height of the ceilings.
Oh, the height of the ceiling.
In the second.
I'm sorry, the first floor is 9.5, second floor is 8, and the interior of the attic is 6.
So from 22.75, it's 30.75 to the bottom of for the ceiling of the second floor. Right?
That would be
Finished
correct.
first floor is 12.33, finished second floor is 2.75. Usually there's about a foot between.
Correct.
You're saying foot and a half.
But right, well, you have a foot and a half, no, 1 foot is between the floor beam, is for the floor beam. And
On
you
the
have
top of the
6-inch high ceiling on the first floor.
What is it on the first floor?
9 foot
9.6?
6-inch high ceiling on the first floor.
And then the additional 1 foot between.
It's 10.6.
And that's how you get to those numbers. So
Right.
you see the basis for the request. I again, understanding the board's general view of these things, we feel it's merited here. If you were to disagree, we would just ask that if you're inclined to give the other relief, that you give it, and you would allow them to continue on. They could try to redesign the house. So we don't have to go back through seeking relief for the other area
Yeah,
requests.
but if we took a foot, let's say, off the height variance or something, there wouldn't be too much redesign, it's just drop it down, right?
We could abide by, if the board imposed a condition like that or asked for an amended site plan, we'd be willing to work with you, of course.
Any other questions?
Yes, Mr. O'Connell or Mr. Brown, you indicated that the deck was going to be removed,
The raised deck, yes.
raised deck. I don't see that on the plot plan.
Let me, you do want to?
Yeah, here, this is helpful. This highlights the deck, the area where we're coming forward in the front, so you can see the footprint as it is versus what's proposed. It might be a little easier to say.
Yeah, to be clear, the original submittal had this on it, but the town, for whatever reason, because it was shown as a new residence, they wanted me to take off all of those items. So, but this will clarify where the deck was, and also it'll show where the porch was that's being enclosed. And it's all highlighted in this drawing we're submitting.
Is this building going to require a new CO?
Yes, I believe so, yeah.
It does.
I mean, we're preserving the foundation, but building a new house on top of it.
So why wouldn't it need a side yard aggregate?
actually just take my site plan. Can I have the site plan back for a minute? I can take a quick look at it. I don't remember what the yards are.
Did you ask why would it, or why wouldn't it?
It should need a side yard aggregate, in my opinion. It's a new house.
So the aggregate is typically 15. Yeah.
Building department didn't bring it up.
We're proposing no change. The side yard aggregate now is at, oh, no, well, so we're because we're in the same line. Yeah, 17.8, so if it's 15 feet, I believe, required.
So,
But we have 17, right, okay.
I can't make out the numbers.
Unless they're taking it because they're looking at the cellar entrance as opposed to the house. That's probably what it is.
I don't, do they allow that encroachment? I'm not sure. I don't know.
We weren't tonight, or?
I see you're saying that the cellar entrance is an encroachment? That counts?
Okay.
It encroaches into the side yard.
Right.
Am I wrong?
Yes, it is.
No, it does, I don't know, it's not an allowance, I don't know.
I don't believe it to be. Where's Christina? And could you get that amended site plan that he submitted? The amended site plan changed the outdoor deck?
We're eliminating the outdoor deck.
Okay,
There's a patio on grade, which doesn't count for lot coverage.
so, looking at the site plan, first of all, you need to change the numbers for lot area occupied then, or lot coverage, if that reduces it, correct?
It does reduce it.
But the amendment doesn't show that. You didn't change the numbers.
No, I think it's on the chart we gave
It's on
you.
the chart there.
It's down from
You wanna show
39.
me, Mister, could you come up? Certainly, Mr. Brown, you're welcome to
No, I think one
kick
person
him
can
in the
handle
shins
it.
if he makes a mistake.
Where are we? So, looking up here.
Existing.
Lot coverage, 27, we're at 39, we're down to 36.5.
Which is what this is. 36,
39 existing, down to 36.5. We're going
but
down.
this is without the deck.
When we originally submitted this to the town.
Yes.
And they asked us, because it was considered a new house.
Yeah.
That they said, we can't show any of these things, and they asked us to take all of those lines off and show it as a new residence only. This is what we originally tried, and we were told to take all these lines off.
Okay, but if-
I brought this here for better clarification for you guys.
But this is coming out now,
That's out.
correct?
Correct. The yellow that I have here is gone.
So that reduces the lot area occupied, lot coverage, but it doesn't on here. I'm
When you
confused.
remove that, does it end up 36.5 or 39?
It ends up 36.5 when I remove that deck.
But even if you left it, you're still saying that it's 36.5.
The lot covers is at 39 now, and it goes down to 36.5.
But shouldn't it say to be removed then? I think what he's getting at is.
This
we're gonna
number is
approve
the
a plan
same as
that's
this number without the
36.5.
deck.
But aren't you saying if if we're gonna approve 36.5,
He needs help.
don't we need a picture without the deck so that the inspector doesn't think it's 36.5 with the deck?
We eliminated this deck, but it didn't affect the lot area occupied.
The lot area occupied for the 39 reflects the deck.
Included, yeah. but
what-
yours-
I thought you were going to remove this, which would also reduce the lot area occupied. But it doesn't indicate that. The numbers don't jive.
It indicates it will be 36.5. I think the confusion is if it, no, but I think the confusion is if someone looked at this and said, oh, 36.5 is what they proposed, that's what approved, but it includes a deck.
It does,
This show started to be,
that's to be removed.
this was not submitted to, I brought this in to help you guys, you know, because the building department said to take it off. I originally showed it, and they wanted me
So
to,
I think maybe if you wrote 2B,
I could add that on there.
I mean, I think if something indicated that this 36.5 is this house without that deck, is it kind of, maybe you could write something on there like that,
Is this the same thing?
or write,
Yeah,
With
it just
the
does,
deck?
no, the deck's not shown on, if I showed the deck, it would be out here. It would be further into the yard.
That's basically the new house. This was just
say,
intended to
can you
show the
write,
current
like,
house.
Yes.
write
I know, but he
36.5%
superimposed the deck,
without deck,
and the numbers are still
or
the same.
something to indicate that if the inspector looks at it, he doesn't think the 36.5 approved includes a deck. I get it's dotted, but think about the word there.
I got it. I can put that back on the record. There will be no raised deck.
And the lot area occupied will remain the same.
36, no, it's gonna go down.
And change the numbers.
No, it's at 39, it's going down to 36.
It's going down to 36.4.
Go on.
Just say that. And this is, as reflected on applicant's exhibit 5.
Can I have that? We need to know the stairs requires approaches in a side yard or should be calculated as a side yard.
Just for the clarity of the record, with respect to the lot area occupied, as reflected on applicant's Exhibit 5, we have added a note that the lot area occupied proposed here is 36.5%, and that lot area occupied does not include a raised deck. The raised deck that existed on the old house will be removed, and it will not be replaced on the new house that's
So the
before
new
you.
lot area occupied is 36,
That's correct.
and that's reflected on exhibit 5.
That is now reflected on Exhibit 5 with a note.
Thank you. Any other questions?
We're working on it.
You have a cellar entrance?
Yes.
Did the old house have a cellar entrance?
I'm sorry?
Did the old house have a cellar entrance?
No, it did not.
So you have two, I guess, looks like two window wells?
We have two what? I'm sorry?
Two window wells?
Two window wells, correct.
Egress
Okay,
windows.
Egress windows,
Yes, that's
right.
correct.
Okay. Why do we need the cellar entrance from the outside?
If I could have my client.
They can, I think it was frankly just a convenience for the family, is that fair to say? For the kids, but that was, I honestly, I missed that, and I know the board doesn't care for them, and if we can, we can remove the cellar entrance,
Okay.
which would also alleviate Mr. Pellegrini's concern about the encroachment.
I didn't say that yet. You read my mind.
It's amazing.
Oh, so there's one garage?
Kreska.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and you have it's only going to, can a car go in there? You have it for
Really?
storage only?
Yeah, it's really not deep enough for the, because you're so high above ground, we need the stairs in the garage, so it's really more for their lawnmower and bikes, but you can't get a garage into it.
A car.
But the original house had two. Think
Yes,
about
the
it.
original house had two.
So how
But we
did
will
they-
provide proper off-street parking spaces, so.
But how did they get into those two if you say you can't get into one?
No, well, this is a new house, so we're redesigning it and taking over some of that existing garage.
Right, but you said you can't get into it with a car.
On the new proposed one, we cannot. It's a whole new design. They didn't need a garage, they just wanted a little leftover space for some storage for their lawnmower and bicycles, so they didn't need a full garage for it, because they don't put their car in the garage.
Okay.
I have a question. Sure. So if you have that storage, what do you need to go up 32 feet and have 6 feet storage area in the attic? Why can't you just keep the structure at 30 feet, like the zoning requires?
That garage storage is, it's for bicycles, lawnmowers, tools. It's not the type of thing that you would put in an attic for, seasonal clothes, suitcases, and it's a whole different type of storage that you would put in a small outdoor unheated area versus into an attic storage.
They have 6 children, they're just looking to maximize the storage space. But we understand the board's concerns and general views of that, and so we rest on our record, but, we'll leave that to you to deliberate on.
I just want to say I wish them luck with 6 children.
I'm jealous. I move that the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Brown, you and your clients and your experts will all receive a copy of the board's decision by mail once it's rendered.
Oh, let me hand this back to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Next, we have case 50824, Woodmere, Dan Schneckin. Variances, lot area occupied, side yards aggregate, construct addition, second-story addition, and two-story additions, all attached to dwelling, and interior alterations in excess of 50%. New CO required, also known as 580 Green Place.
If Katura had 6 children, she'd probably worry less about her ailments.
Hi, good afternoon, Board.
Which she's
My name
free
is
to
Paul Viegler
discuss with
of
everybody on the planet.
John Capabianco's office at 159 Dowdy Boulevard, Inwood, New York, 11096. We're here today to present and to ask relief for some items on the, the house resides at 580 Green Place, Woodmere, New York. And it is 96.46 feet east of Lakeside Drive. And the section is 39, block 486, lot 16. It's in a zone B. It is in a flood zone AE8. And I want to make it clear that it is the intention of the applicant to fully comply with the FEMA regulations and not looking at any relief from the FEMA codes. We are dealing with a couple of variances, one being lot area occupied, side yard aggregate, and side yard. The lot area occupied, we're looking for, where permitted is 27.5, and we're looking for 34.9%. For the side yard, the required is 8.2 feet, and we're proposing 5.5 feet. The side yard aggregate is permitted 24.6 feet, and we're proposing 21.6 feet. The applicant, Dan Schechtigan, has a young family, and they have 3 children, and they plan to grow their family in the near future, and requiring some additional bedrooms and some additional family spaces. Okay. We're adding 3 bedrooms on the second floor and expanding the kitchen and putting a great room and dining room. And Dan Schechtigan, the applicant, works from home full-time and has an office at home. They plan on using existing bedroom spaces that is currently in the house, the existing portion of the house. for the additional study for the wife that Jennifer, she works partially at home as well. And there will also be nursery for their upcoming, further future children. And any questions?
Yeah, well, you have an open building permit for a generator, is that going to be closed out?
Wasn't aware that it was still open, but it should be closed out, yes.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? If
I move-
not, do I have a
I
motion?
apologize. I move the hearing be closed, the case placed on the decision calendar. When the board renders its decision, you will receive it, the notice in the mail.
Okay, great.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you, Gordon.
You're welcome.
Welcome. Thank you.
Next, we have cases 251-24 through 252-24, Garden City South, Sari Evangelou. Variance, rear yard, maintain wood deck attached to dwelling and detached garage. Special exception to maintain accessory structure, shed not permitted in side yard and with less than required side yard setback. Maintain a 4-foot-high fence forward of the dwelling, also known as 523 Terrace Avenue.
Gennaro Cozzolino, 2125 Deer Park Avenue, Deer Park, New York, 11729. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board.
Good afternoon.
Again, Gennaro Cozzolino for the homeowner, Sari Angelou, residing at 523 Terrace Avenue, Garden City, also known as Section 33, Block 500, Lot 25, located in Residence B zone. We are requesting relief from the board to maintain a wood deck, a shed, and a 4-foot-high fence forward of the dwelling. The existing wood deck requires a variance for rear yard setback, requesting to maintain 19.7 feet from permitted 25 feet, a difference of 5.3 feet. Variance to maintain shed and side yard with setback of 1.26 feet from permitted 2 feet, a difference of 0.7 feet. And finally, permission to maintain a 4-foot fence, 4-foot PVC fence forward of the dwelling. The fence is used to enclose the deck to keep their children safe, and only encroaches 5 feet forward of the dwelling.
Can that shed be moved?
It is a corner lot. It's a very small yard. It can be moved, but it would take away from the area.
It would take away from the safety of that emergency access to the rear yard. It does now.
Well, as you can tell, there's a gate on the opposite corner.
This doesn't work anymore.
It's a corner property, so everything is really tight.
Well, the corner property has nothing to do with the fact that the shed is in a side yard, encumbering a side yard. Which one is, where is this? Where is the shed? This is so annoying.
The yard is also closed off in that section, Mr. Pellegrini, by the fence.
Just give me a second. Okay, Google Earth shows a car parked in the front lawn with a cover on it.
Excuse me?
The Google
Google
Earth
Yes.
shows an automobile with a cover over it, parked on the front lawn. Do you know if that's still there? Have you been to,
I don't think so.
have you been to the property?
I haven't been in a while, but it wasn't there when I took the pictures.
What pictures?
Thank you.
Dawn? Where are the pictures? Oh, wait, got them.
There are also open building permits.
We're waiting to close out these, waiting for these approvals in order to close out the main building permit for the second-story addition.
Right, that was filed in 2021.
Correct.
And 2 air conditioning units
Yes.
in the rear yard. So you have a
So
shed
we
and a deck
close that.
that's before us.
Kimberly should check it out.
The deck's location is in between the main dwelling and the detached garage. It's on grade.
Joseph? Okay. Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
I move the hearing be closed, the case placed on the decision calendar. When the board renders its decision, you will be notified.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you very much.
Did she leave?
Yeah, she's in the back.
Not yet. Never, never. That'll never happen. We have to do decisions.
Check for a text from Kim and Dexter, she doesn't need to go.
Hi.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
She'll love coming back. She'll love coming back. Patrick, would you like to call the case?
Mr. Chairman, next case is case 11524 through 11824, Uniondale, 261 Uniondale Avenue LLC. Use variance, maintain auto sales office in Residence B District. Use variance for outdoor display of automobiles in a Residence B District. Waive off-street parking and parking in the front yard setbacks on Uniondale Avenue and Fayette Street, a portion of which is within the clear sight triangle. Special exception to park in a Residence B District. Variances, side yard, rear yard, maintain addition to existing building, maintain 6-foot-high fence forward of building and within clear sight triangle on corner and at the driveway, also known as 261 Uniondale Avenue.
Good afternoon again, Christian Brown, McLaughlin and Stern, 1122 Franklin Avenue, Garden City.
Good afternoon. So, go ahead.
No, I understand we had a conference at the bench and that there is some
Additional
information and
required.
files that have to be sent down to the board from the building department before the board can proceed with this case.
But the board requires, we want it.
Yes, I understand this is at the board's request, and we consent to adjourn the case until you get the requisite files and we deal with any issues that may arise related to the current notice.
Okay. So, we're going to adjourn it, pardon? We're going to adjourn it without a date, folks, because we don't know when we're going to receive the additional papers that are necessary for us to render a decision from the building department. You will be given another notification as to when the case is actually on. Sorry that you had to take time to come today, but you will be given notice when when a hearing will ultimately be scheduled. All right, is there anything else any of you would like to add? Go right ahead, ma'am. Just, pardon? No. No. No, hold on a minute.
Good. Thank you. Okay. My name is Elaine Richards, and I live on 1037 Fayette Street in Uniondale.
Slow down a little, please, just so the court reporter can take the information down.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'm 1037 Fayette Street in Uniondale, New York, 11553. I am concerned about the parking on Fayette Street because Fayette Street is a dead-end block. And-
Ma'am, we're adjourning the case.
Okay.
I know you want to get into the merits of the case,
Yes.
and you will be given the opportunity to do
Right.
that the next time the case is on. But, you know, we're adjourning it. You'll
Okay.
get another notice, and you'll be able to voice your opinion
Okay.
when the case is actually being heard. We don't want to hear it now and then have to hear it again later. No offense intended.
Okay.
Okay?
Chairman, if I may, have you spoken with Mr. Brown, the attorney for the car lot?
Yeah, we spoke a little bit today.
You have?
Okay.
You have not? I'm sorry.
Yeah, we spoke a little
She said
today, yes,
she did.
outside.
Why don't
Oh,
you
just now?
speak with him again, and maybe there's something that he can recommend to his client to get rid of, allay your fears and concerns now,
In the new
you know, between now and when it comes back.
Mr. Brown, you'll...
Yes, we spoke already. We understand what their concerns are, and my client will make himself available. He's right across the street, and I'll also give a card, so they'll be able to make sure that there's no cars that don't belong on the street left on the street.
That might help.
Okay. All right?
Okay.
All right. Any,
Thank you.
would, any...
There we're good together.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
You'll
you so
be
much.
given notice next time the case is on.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Folks, the next time when you get the notice, there'll be a date on it. Do yourselves a favor, call the office the day before, just to make sure that the case is going forward at that time, so you can save yourself a trip.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you, Mr. Nelson. I know you're terribly disappointed, but you'll have to come back. And since you're being paid by the minute, I guess. You're welcome. Okay. That concludes the calendar, the afternoon calendar. We'll take a 5-minute break, and then we will make decisions, I hope. Maybe we'll discuss decisions without making them. You know, your issue reminds me of the kid who lived around the corner from us. A brilliant boy, went to Harvard, argued, I believe, 4 cases before the United States Supreme Court. Brilliant kid, totally dysfunctional.
Oh, thank you.
So he goes,
He started with your case.
Christmas Eve, get this. He's in my neighbor's house asking if he could get a passport because he's due to leave to go to Europe the day after Christmas. Forgot to get a passport.
Well, that wasn't exactly what I did.
No, I know. You've been banned from
The hotel
international
didn't,
flights.
the hotel didn't call me to actually.
Where did the hotel?
Apparently, because of the Olympics, we need this additional permit. We have a perimeter pass for the red zone for the events. So the hotel calls Alpha's office yesterday and says, do you have one for the hotel zone? So I had to get online with a link. I had to call the hotel, send me a link, blah, blah, blah. It took me 2.5 hours to upload all the documents, take a photo. Shit show. And a few minutes ago, Danny texted me and said, did you get it? I get one email that says, my daughter's has been, here, my daughter's request has been unsuccessful because one document didn't meet the pass requirements, which can't be because it's the same as my document. It says see below, but it never tells you what document. And then the one for me says my request is being processed, and for my husband and my son, no communication. Is what I called the hotel, he's like, that's been happening to a lot of people. Now he's sending me an email that I'm to show the police, signed by him, blah, blah, blah. So I just called him again saying, I didn't get the email yet. I just want to make sure you have my email address. He goes, yes, I'm sending it right now. Okay, that was 4 minutes ago.
And you're going tomorrow?
I have to get up at 3 and leave my house at 4.
Wow.
So believe me, Elias will get another phone call from me in a half an hour if I can get him. All right, what do we have left to do so I can go home and pack?
Just decisions.
I want to leave too. Yes, you're the only cats in the building.
Yep. Case 505 of 2024, Franklin Square, Joseph and Casey Cascone. That was maintain the cellar entrance on Lydia Drive, 1035 Lydia Drive.
I was okay with it.
I knew you would be, it's not in your neighborhood.
You can express your opinion, you can't make a motion, though.
No,
You have an opinion?
not really. You know what, I want to hold it, I'll inspect it. I'm going to hold it, the hell with it.
No, we want some reserved decisions, let me look at it.
I want to take the peek, okay? All right, next case, 506, 2024, Belmore, Anthony Minio.
Okay, so I know there was a little bit of confusion as to how it was denied. I spoke to the plans examiner,
What was denied?
Well, that's the question.
how it was denied, because it's kind of a hybrid. So in speaking to the plans examiner,
Bless you.
he kind of considered it a hybrid structure. It's one structure, but part of it is more like the outdoor section just has overhang. So it's,
Yeah.
it's the covered portion is the cabana, and then the outdoor kitchen bar area that has that overhang. So that's why he did the hybrid denial as an accessory structure and cabana.
But he didn't, we're gonna amend the caption if we're gonna, do we need a special exception, because I'm part of it?
He said, I asked him, and he said no, that the way we have it captioned is correct.
Okay.
And
Okay.
with this, I know the 700 square feet, it's actually cubic feet. So that's why it's,
Okay, well, he did for larger, so we'll do the larger of the 144, right? In other words, he rejected it for larger, so he was using the 144.
May I?
You may.
Is what we have captioned correct?
Yeah, that's what she said.
that
Okay.
is correct.
So-
According to the building department,
so,
I
okay.
asked based on their denials,
Okay.
if the relief that we have is correct.
So let's
and
make a
yes.
motion and
Yeah.
chow up and hell out.
Okay. Are we going to, do we have to amend the caption to provide
No.
for? No, we
No,
don't.
we're good.
All right, so, Case-
Index number 506, Belmore, Anthony Minio, construct second-story accessory structure, cabana with half bathroom, outdoor kitchen, fireplace attached thereto, higher and larger than permitted. will be granted with conditions.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Just to be
Opposed?
clear, the conditions are gonna be no living space.
Right.
No heat.
Mm-hmm.
Is there plumbing?
There's gonna be plumbing
There
for
is
the
plumbing,
bathroom.
yeah. Case 507 of 2024 near Valley Stream, Andrew and Tova Feigenbaum. I have any discussion from the board? Pull down staircase, remove the cellar entrance,
I thought we
and,
should lower
and
the height of
lower the height, yeah.
I agree with the heights. There's no reason for it to be 32 and a half
If
feet.
we deny the height, he said he only had 9.5 feet. of
On the first
second-
floor.
On the first floor, but I don't think so. I think there's 10.5 there, and I bet he only used one for the space. No, but I'm saying, if we deny the height, it's a 262 request, right? Right, but I'm just saying, even on the first floor, he claims he only has 9.5 feet there, but I think he has 10 feet because there's 10.5, almost 10.5 feet between, and I think that, I don't think he used it for a whole 1.5 feet between floors. I think he used one. So I agree with you. I just think we deny at least 2 feet of the height, if not the whole 262.
Okay. Somebody like to make a motion on that one, Mrs.? Go ahead.
What about the garage? I mean, we usually don't allow a new house to be built without some kind of a garage. Now, they said garage/storage, but when I asked him if a car could go in that garage, he said no. It wasn't even big enough for a car. And he said it's because you can't get a car in there because we're redesigning the house different than the old house that had a 2-car garage. And when I asked him really why, he just kept saying, well, we're designing the house different.
You are supposed to have a garage in the house.
Okay.
Otherwise, they'll be back here for 3 sheds.
Why
So, I
don't
mean,
you,
we're gonna have to hold it.
why don't we hold it and somebody make
With
a
note
phone
that we're
call?
gonna deny the height variance. We're gonna have to look into what.
The garage.
It was Todd O'Connell and Chris Brown.
Yeah. He's having a good day. Next
I
case,
felt like Chris made his presentation expecting us to deny
508 of 2024, Woodmere. Dan Shektikin. Okay. It's in an FE8 zone. Side yard aggregate, the addition, second-story additions, second-story additions, two-story additions. Any comments from the locals? If not, do I have a motion?
I make a motion. Case number 50824, variances, lot area occupied, side yard, aggregate, construct additions, second-story addition, and two-story additions, I guess with conditions, correct? Excuse me? As? Okay, as requested.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Cases 251 and 252 of 2024, Garden City South, Sari Evangelou. Any comments, questions? If not, do I have a motion?
I move that case 251 and 252, Garden City South, Sari Evangelo, at 523 Terrace Avenue in Garden City South be granted as requested.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That, I believe, 115 of 2 through 118 of 2024 Uniondale, that has been adjourned sine die, and I'm going to inspect that just for the hell of it. And case 162 of 2024, Neil Lawrence Millstream Realty has been dismissed without prejudice. That, I believe, concludes the decisions. Is there anything else we have to discuss? And if not, do I have a motion
Did you
to
want
adjourn?
to,
I think
applicant?
Oh, yeah, but she's got to go, so we're going to hold them. You're okay?
You want to look at these?
Did you look at those?
Can we readdress what this morning about amending the board rules and putting that,
I thought we did, they're going to check.
is that what we're gonna do?
Yeah.
Check on,
Well,
to
yeah,
see
we're
whether
gonna-
we really wanna do that?
Yeah.
You're going to, yeah,
I think we're all.
you're going to speak to town attorney.
Yeah.
That was the whole religious thing. Yeah. Mhm. Patrick, here's my emergency contact form.
2255 Center Avenue Group LLC, and I move that we adopt the findings as presented.
Second?
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
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 You no votes.
Aye.
Okay,
That was 4 ayes.
4 ayes.
I have 3 rehearing requests.
Go ahead. Rehearing requests.
3 rehearing
My
requests.
recollection was they have to be done unanimously. Is that
That is
not correct? So let's hear the first one.
Okay, so the first request is from Frank Wassenberg of 224 Evers Lane in Oceanside. I'm writing this letter to ask the Board of Appeals if they will be kind enough to consider rehearing my application for a deck permit that was already approved with a notice of decision July 6, 2016. It was approved in a board meeting I attended. However, it seemed I missed a final step in the process and did not pick up my approved permit filing proceedings. He just missed picking up his permits.
What say you?
And we're
You're
quite
my
sure,
board members, so.
quite sure that's the same as before.
Yes, it was granted as requested, everything.
It was granted as requested prior, and I would move that we allow a rehearing to take place on that.
I would agree with that.
Do you want to?
As long as it's exactly the same.
Staff is relying on that,
Okay.
so I move that we sui sponte and grant. the extension.
Joanne?
Second,
Keturah? You're in agreement?
Aye.
Aye. Ay, 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 signore. Okay, next.
This is from
Patrick?
Anthony Sanfilippo of 1539 Henry Road, Wantaw, application 19-4179. My family and I are requesting an extension of time or an expedited rehearing for the aforementioned application for our home located at 1539 Henry Road, Wantaw. After notifying our neighbors of the case between 6/11/6/18/2020, we previously went in front of the board on July 8, 2020, and our case 382 through 384 was granted by the Board of Zoning Appeals. Unfortunately, as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic and various challenges that came as a result of the shutdowns, the permit was never picked up. On May 15, 2024, we went to the board for a different application, 23-4975, that both incorporated and referenced the previously approved application. This application was also approved by the BZA, but unfortunately, we were not aware at the time of the hearing that we needed an extension or rehearing for 19-4179. We were requesting an extension of time be granted to the original approval of 19-4179 or an expedited rehearing in order to bring the same application back in front of the board so that we can obtain a permit. We would like to be able to handle the entire project all at once, as it is economically and structurally the best way to do so. We greatly appreciate any assistance that you can provide that can help us avoid further delays and additional costs for the project. If you have any other questions, please feel free to contact my architect's office at Mark Anthony Architecture.
Were there 2 cases then?
So there was a case in 2023. That's still good. It's the one from 2020 that needs to be redone.
But the other case is solid. The other case is solid, okay.
So the 2020 case, is that exactly the same as the one that is now being brought?
We are requesting an extension of time be granted to the original approval of 19-4179. Correct. It's either rehearing or we do the sui sponte.
Sui sponte and grant the extension of time.
Well, it would just be the sui sponte and the clock starts over.
Really?
It's not extension time, so their initial clock starts over.
So it's sui sponte to reopen it, technically.
Yes.
But would it be sui sponte to grant an extension of time? for to reopen and/or an extension of time.
Well, they're asking for either rehearing or an extension of time.
Yeah.
Which can they get an extension of time? Or is they've passed, they've blown it down?
Yeah, so just give them the right to
So if we-
do a hearing.
That's, so if.
So you're gonna make them come back.
Well, alternatively, if the board finds that the request of relief is exactly the same, it is the board's power to do a sui sponte reopening, grant the relief, and then just make the process to begin. So that they would have 4 months to secure their permits and go through all that. So basically, stretch the clock.
That's still good. They're still on, they're still alive. We don't have to do anything with the 20, we don't have to do anything with the, no, we just have to deal with the 2022, the 2020 case.
But sua sponte means that it's reopened on our, or redone on our.
Yeah,
on
sui
our
sponte
own.
means of our own accord. So if it's a reopening on our own, that's when we say sui sponte.
So what did we do with this one?
So
We did the sua sponte.
Sua sponte
it's
reopening.
reopened on our own.
So we would do sui sponte, what the board can do is do a sui sponte, so they make an application for a rehearing. If the board deem it appropriate to re-grant the case, why sit through another hearing, take the applicant sit through another hearing, when the board can, again, if it's a single relief, we granted it, there's been no change in the character or nature of the neighborhood, it's not an outlandish request that was granted back in 1970, right? The board can then, on its own, reopen the case, and then make a new decision on the case, which would then in effect, if we can reopen the case and re-grant the relief requested, and therefore their clock starts ticking again.
So they don't have to show.
They don't have to come back in, we don't have to rehear the case.
So is this all done at once?
Yes, it would be all done at once.
So why aren't we doing that with this one? The first one?
We are,
Oh,
we
okay.
are.
Oh, I kind of get it, but when you do the resolution, could you send me a copy?
Sure, I have a bunch of them saved, yeah, because,
Just flip one out.
sure,
I'm sure they're all the same.
because that's the procedurally, we have it.
I'm still a little bit.
What do you want to give him, 6 months?
9 months, I like it.
9 months, okay. But then you want to give this guy 9 months too?
So then, yeah, do you wanna,
The first guy?
the first one, would you like to withdraw that motion and?
Yeah, I withdraw
make
the
it?
motion and amend the motion to say, sua sponte to grant a 9-month extension of time. 9 months is the date.
A lot can happen.
Okay, we got another one.
All right, I have a motion.
40 weeks.
When my wife was always 10 months, 3 weeks.
She went late.
The giant came out of 10 pounds, 3 ounces.
Oh, no.
I have a,
And Corolla is, she's a petite one.
Yeah.
Was it the first one?
so I have a motion on one of the reserved
Nope,
cases.
we have one more.
One more.
Okay.
This is from James Walsh, 858 Schroeder Avenue in Franklin Square. We purchased this home while the previous owner was in the process of obtaining several permits. The process continued for several years after we moved in and came to a stop in 2020 after the previous owner became difficult and hadn't completely paid the professionals that he hired. We have now received a notice from the town that we must address these permits and have them closed. Unfortunately, the variance expired long ago, and our understanding is that we need to request a rehearing for both applications. One of the requirements for the permits to be issued after the last variance approval was that we must obtain a permit for the finished basement. The permit was applied for in 2019 and had an objection. Michael Palumba has made the revisions to answer the objection and it has been submitted. Attached are two checks for $250 for each to request a rehearing for these two expired variances. We are working with Heather Sanderson to get these permits cleared up. You can contact her. Thank you in advance.
Did they collect the escrow?
What are we supposed to do on this?
Is that another extension?
I mean, that's like a whole reopening.
Okay, we originally granted it, then they had a rehearing granted in 19. Then it was 20, then granted in 2020, conditions, variance to side yards aggregate, maintain carport attached to dwelling. Yes. Side yards, maintain carport attached to dwelling. This one is variance front yard average setback, maintain vestibule, platform, and cellar entrance attached to dwelling. These are all granted.
What do you think, Mr. Hogan? Take a look at it.
Sure.
Yeah, see if it's still carport.
858 Schroeder.
858 Schroeder. Write it down.
Okay, can I make a motion just to maybe have a draft started? It's not a reserved decision.
We haven't just addressed that, did draft.
Yeah, just do a draft.
Yeah.
Okay.
In your motion. Have a nice trip. Thank you. Thank you. I can't. Mark, we can almost get out. No. No, it won't. It does. Tell me you don't have a date tonight. Oh.
So you want them to cut it, so cut it back 8 feet, maintain an 8 foot. Okay. So which is?
Move to